Deep in the untamed wilderness, the young dweller wades through shallow rapids, carefully gathering bamboo strips from the rocky banks. Shouldering massive poles, he crosses a precarious makeshift bridge over the turbulent stream, testing both the fragile structure and his own endurance. He returns to deposit the final load. The neatly arranged bamboo on the shore now clearly signals the start of a major construction project. Precision defines the craft. Anchoring the thick poles with his feet, the dweller saws the raw timber into exact measurements, sending wood chips flying into the air while maintaining absolute focus. However, transforming these rigid cylinders into flexible weaving materials demands a completely different approach and a sharper blade. Wielding a heavy machete, he splits the bamboo longitudinally before peeling the fibers into incredibly fine, resilient silk strips. Finally, organizing the completed bundle, he stretches his stiffened shoulders, marking the successful completion of this grueling preliminary phase. Material selection begins crouching beside Ratane. The dweller extracts a slender bamboo strip, evaluating its texture against the lush forest. Transforming raw material into framework demands precision. Seated by the stream, he aligns 7 parallel splints for the basket skeleton. Adjusting spacing with care, pressing the first horizontal weaver, he secures the base with his toes while hands execute the cross-weaving pattern. The weaving accelerates, repeating piercing and tightening motions. The dweller expands the flat bamboo mesh with astonishing speed and accuracy. Clamping the woven base between his knees, he masterfully folds every terminal end into the mesh to create a seamless edge. Embracing the semi-finished basket, he stitches the sides together with long rattan vines, ultimately closing the bottom by interlocking strips while holding a fine weaver in his teeth. Labor shifts to the water, wading into crystal-clear shallows. The young dweller uses his woven basket to excavate submerged mud and gravel from the stream. Extracting this heavy payload is not merely a test of strength, but an exercise in balance. Hoisting the saturated basket, he allows access water to drain through the gaps before trudging steadily toward the bank, depositing the silt beside a massive boulder. He immediately turns back to the center of the current to repeat the exhausting cycle. Reinforcement follows excavation. Standing in the flowing stream, the dweller digs a shallow pit with an iron shovel, burying the base of a bamboo pole to anchor the embankment. Securing the slope requires more than merely inserting stakes. It demands compacting the soil to prevent future erosion. Treading barefoot in the wet mud, he uses his own body weight to meticulously tamp the earth, ensuring every inch bonds tightly with the bamboo structure. He piles wet silt over the nodes of parallel poles to maximize stability, and then cleans his hands, gazing at the reinforced bank with a profound sense of accomplishment. Twilight descends as the elongating shadows signal the approaching end of the day. The dweller gathers his tools and remaining bamboo materials to prepare for a temporary departure from the worksite. Yet before fully clocking out, he must prepare the crucial joinery components for the next phase of the retaining wall. Gripping a machete, he forcefully carves rectangular outline markers onto the surface of a thick bamboo pole, chipping away the wood to form a precise, clean mortise. Swiftly switching to a wooden stick, he shaves the bottom end into a sharp cone, creating the perfect pointed tip for driving deep into the soil. Construction resumes. He crouches low, using a heavy stone to drive vertical support poles deep into the riverbank's muddy soil. This rigid axis is merely the first step against the flowing stream. He slots horizontal bamboo beams into the brackets, bringing the retaining slope into its initial form with tools set aside. He stands before the structure, gazing back at his labor with calm satisfaction. With nimble fingers, the dweller wraps golden rattan strips tightly around bamboo intersections, locking the frame against water pressure. Yet structural integrity demands more than weaving. It requires compacting massive and fill behind the lattice. Stepping over stakes, he dumps baskets of crushed stone and wet mud into the bank, repeating the grueling cycle of bending and lifting until sweat soaks his back from an elevated view. His tiny figure highlights the sheer scale of the wilderness against the dense bamboo forest. Noticing a loose foundation stone, the dweller immediately crouches to tamp it firm with mud and gravel, securing the unstable base against the washing water. Ensuring overall structural integrity requires a comprehensive inspection from an elevated position. Standing atop a massive boulder bathed in afternoon sun, he surveys the entire project with a tall silhouette, carefully verifying the alignment of the retaining wall. Returning to the rushing stream, he struggles to pry a giant stone trapped in silt, flipping the rock with a huge splash before slowly leveraging it toward the bank. Stability is paramount. The dweller sets a heavy stone on the base foundation, testing firmness with his toe and adjusting angles for a seamless, tight fit that will not shift. Horizontal reinforcement proves critical against lateral water pressure. He spans a long stone beam across two vertical stones, boosting transverse compressive strength significantly. Wiping sweat from his face, he gazes at the emerging double-tiered pond. Come water reflects emerald bamboo as overflow creates a miniature waterfall downstream. The stone dam rises higher with the final boulder set. The scattered riverbed transforms into a regulated pool capable of holding volume. Yet the system lacks an elevated structure to guide flow, vanishing briefly into the dense forest. He returns shouldering 2 multimeter mozo bamboo pools. Stepping steadily into the water, he rests one end on the dam. Wielding a wooden mallet, he fiercely drives vertical piles deep into the muddy bed while a gray goat watches curiously from the shore. Final adjustments begin under the glow of the setting sun. The dweller stands on the bamboo walkway, using a long wooden pole as a lever to adjust and stabilize the bamboo fence structure in the fast-flowing water. However, the true strength of the lattice lies in the intricate tying of its joints, which must resist the constant pull of the current. His hands skillfully manipulate the yellow rattan strips, executing tight cross-lashings at the intersecting bamboo poles to create incredibly solid nodes that will not slip. As the binding nears completion, he pulls the rattan ends taut and tucks them into the crevices, standing up to meticulously verify the overall verticality and stability of the entire framework. He lifts a massive black rock, precisely embedding it into the muddy base between bamboo frames and stomping forcefully to secure it against the shifting soil. Next, a large flat stone is carefully placed across the pond's overflow outlet, serving as a crucial supporting point for the walkway. To prepare for the spillway pipe installation, he drags a thick bamboo pole to bridge the 2 stone dams as temporary support using a long-handled machete. He pierces through the internal nodes to completely hollow out the tube, then carries this improvised pipe to the dam for a trial fitting. Arranging multiple bamboo pipes side by side on the dam, the dweller initiates the initial overflow, allowing clear stream water to flow through and test the system. Yet the powerful current quickly exposes vulnerabilities in the new setup, threatening to block vital drainage pathways. Submerged underwater, he battles the strong flow using his hands to clear mud blocking the pipe openings, causing water to instantly surge forward with tremendous force. Soon clear spring water sprays evenly from 3 emerald green bamboo tubes, cascading onto the rocky beach below with the pond's water level perfectly regulated. He packs up his tools to conclude the day's labor. Paving the path, the dweller selects large flat stones from the stream, carefully laying them over the framework of bamboo pipes to create a durable walkway. To secure the overflow mechanism against strong currents, he lifts a heavy rock and presses it firmly onto the spillway edge. He then inspects the drainage by walking calmly along the new stone path. Shouldering a heavy bamboo bundle, he crosses the bridge with his tiered garden and dense forest visible behind him. The final pipeline carrying bamboo poles to the cabin's terrace, the dweller begins the complex task of pipe docking. Anchoring these conduits requires driving them deep into unyielding bedrock to withstand heavy flow. Stepping on the pipe in water, he squeezes it into a pre-chiseled stone crevice with a wooden mallet. He rhythmically taps pegs through the bamboo, securing them in riverbed fissures. Aligning the outlet toward the plunge pool, clear mountain spring water flows smoothly as the pipeline settles. Rest is earned. The dweller returns to the cabin, the gray goat watching silently nearby. He approaches the drainage facility beside the house to clean up after the arduous day. Crouching by the bamboo drain pipe under the eaves, he catches clear stream water, meticulously washing mud from his hands inside orange flames crackle in the hearth. Black Kettle sits squarely on the bracket up of the fire, ready to boil, embracing the quiet comfort of the mountain sanctuary.